I'm really out for blood this time, look.
Edwards on the drive, goes inside.
It was the biggest game of our career, so I think we needed it really bad.
We all want 30 back.
Obviously, things get tougher if we got to go forward without Steph, but it's the same mission.
Welcome back to NBA Countdown, presented by Chime.
It was a relatively innocuous play, but it cost the Golden State Warriors, who will be without Steph Curry in a home playoff game for the first time since 2018. As you can see here, he strained his hamstring in Game 1 and is set to be out at least 1 week, so he will miss tonight's game. Here he is, the moment, right, that he hurt that hamstring. So for the latest on his recovery, let's bring in our senior insider, Shams Charania. Shams, we don't have history to rely on because Steph's never had a hamstring injury in his career, but how is his rehab progressing here?
Malika, Stephen Curry is back in San Francisco, and he's receiving a ton of treatment on that hamstring strain. There's still plenty of work to be done to get him to the point of movement, contact, running, sprinting, and he'll be reevaluated on Wednesday. But until that point, the Warriors' mindset is just to try to win one of these games back in the Bay tonight, Game 3, or Monday, Game 4, and to try to extend this series to 6 or 7 as much as they possibly can and buy Stephen Curry some time, because internally there is uncertainty, and I'm told the Warriors are really looking at that Game 6 as the earliest potential window for Stephen Curry's return. Again, that's at the very earliest, and that would give them 4 days, as we see right there, between Game 5 and Game 6, 12 total days of recovery from that injury from when he suffered it in Game 1. This is the first muscle strain of this kind in his 16-year NBA career, so there's going to be a level of caution with this injury.
Absolutely. It's basically unheard of in this second round, Shams, to have 4 days between games. Most games are played every other day, so the Golden State Warriors, you have to imagine that they're crossing their fingers that they can just get there to give Steph a chance at returning. We appreciate those details. Steph will be in the building tonight. We saw him arriving at Chase Center. It will be a fight for the Warriors, though, without Steph. That brings us to today's fight for victory, brought to you by Modelo. The Warriors, they're without him for the second straight game. They will look for a little more offense than in Game 3, where they scored just 93 points on Thursday. That's their fewest in a postseason game this year. But getting going without Steph has been consistently a problem for this team. And in the playoffs, that trend has continued, as you can see here. I'm pretty sure, Bob, that this is the question that everyone up and down the organization that you used to work with and for is asking right now. How can they stay afloat without Steph Curry?
Yeah, offensively, you can't replace a guy like that. You just can't. He's a good offense by himself. Maybe the best ever, Malika. Maybe the best player in the history of the league that can actually carry an offense, because his shooting, even if he's not scoring, the attention that he garners creates so many open shots. You ask any player that played with him, they say, I've never been so open before. So you have that gone. The defense is what's gotten them to where they are, and that's not going anywhere. They have Jimmy Butler and Draymond Green.
It went somewhere in Game 2.
Yeah, but you know, you got to score a little bit to help the defense. Yep. But they made their bones on their defense. That's real. That defense, since Jimmy Butler, the #1 defensive team in the league. But you're right to talk about the offense. There's no replacement for Curry. Here's what needs to happen. Butler has to be a little bit more selfish. I love the way Jimmy Butler plays. I love that he's a team player. He's a smart player. He's got to change his mentality a little bit and say, I have to be a score-first player, even that's not natural for him. And they got to get help. Pajemski, Kuminga. Somebody has to score 20 points that's not used to doing it.
You think they'll start Kuminga?
Very nice way for you to put it. Bottom line is this. Buddy Hield, obviously, Jimmy Butler, of course, Draymond Green. All of them are shooting under 40% in this series thus far. You got to do better than that. Kuminga comes off the bench. He shot the ball well. Chasey Jackson-Davis, he shot the ball well. Of course, Pajemski, you bring up those 3 names. Somebody needs to help out offensively in that regard. You're absolutely right. Defensively, you got to stay in the game. Do what you can to create stops, get stops, or what have you. It's going to be a tough task, but I think the most poignant point you made is Jimmy Butler's got to be selfish. Jimmy Buckets is Jimmy Buckets for a reason. The reason why he's considered a star, even though he's never captured a championship, is because we've seen him carry the Miami Heat to the finals, not once,
Absolutely.
but twice. Well, damn it, do what you got to do. What is Jimmy Butler's task, y'all? Get a game.
Yeah.
Get a game. Even if Steph Curry comes back for Game 6, you down 3-2, worst case scenario. Just make sure that through Game 5, you got at least one of those games. Could you do that? Do that.
this is not a moment for Jimmy to play the right way. This is a moment for Jimmy to play the wrong way. Right? Like shooting over double teams, waving guys off. He should not leave that arena without at least 25 field goal attempts tonight. You got to go out. You got to go out swinging. Like you got to come out there and set the tone offensively. We know what he could bring to the table defensively. Because now, and Malika, we talked about this on NBA Today. Those matchups for Buddy Hield, we're not going to see that 27 points average that we saw of Game 7 in Houston and Game 1.
More focus.
We're not going to see that because now the game plan, now you got the secondary or first primary defender guarding you. Jimmy Butler, like you said, Stephen A., you've been here before. You led a team to the NBA Finals. And they ain't asking for much. You're at home. They just asking you to help get one game, which you're capable of doing.
If we want to rave about Jimmy Butler, and he deserves it, if we want to rave about how he carried the team to not one but 2 NBA Finals, it is not much to ask him to get you one game.
At home.
One game.
And this Minnesota team is, they're still figuring it out. This is not a team that has it all figured out. Defensively, maybe. Offensively, we saw what they did in game. Curry got hurt, and they were, down 10 when Steph went out? They couldn't win that game at home? They couldn't win that game? No, that to me is a total miss by the Timberwolves.
No, but that was just one of those moments, though, Bob. And that's why Coach Finch called Anthony Edwards out, because it started with him and his energy, right? Like, Anthony Edwards reminds me a lot of Russell Westbrook. When I say that, Russell Westbrook in Oklahoma City, certain guys give you swag, right? Certain guys, their energy is contagious. The heart and soul. Even when you're on the road, you get off the bus, you walking different because you got this guy walking into the arena with you. Game 1, that wasn't the Anthony Edwards we know. And just because he wasn't scoring a lot, we can't take away what he's bringing to the table right now. Some people say he's struggling. I say he's playing some outstanding basketball because the defense is zoned to stop him and make guys around him.
Well, I'm not going to go as far as outstanding yet when I take into consideration his Game 1 performance. Game 2, in terms of his all-around game, fine. Game 1, he was exceptional defensively. He was a no-show offensively for the most part. I'm not going to say exceptional from Game 1. I'm not going to do that.
I guess I suppose for the Golden State Warriors, though, if they want to win one of these games at home, they need to win one of their next 3 to give Steph even a chance at coming back. And we don't know what version of Steph Curry that would be. Hamstring injuries are tricky. In order to do that, I guess I'm wondering if it's going to need to be a 95 to 89 type of hard-nosed, grind-out, Jimmy Butler-esque defense-forward game.
It has to be this is going to sound obvious. If it's a close game, you can bet on Jimmy Butler. They got to keep it close. You can bet on Jimmy Butler just as much as you can bet on Anthony Edwards. But besides Anthony Edwards, there's some wild cards. Jay McDaniels has been good, but I don't know if he's making a game-winning shot. I don't know if Gobert's in the game. I don't know if Naz Reid is scoring. I don't know if DiVincenzo. So if it's a close game and it's Jimmy Butler versus Anthony Edwards on a game-winning moment, then it's a coin flip.
But to get to that point, we got to